Looking at the tight ends this week, not a lot to talk about, as there has basically been us reverting back to the place that we typically go with tight ends. The unfortunate spot of being in a place where there's just not a lot of good options. Now, Trey Burton did have a good week this last week, but he is on bye this week. So even if you can pick him up off waivers, you can't use him in week 7. He had 4 catches on 5 targets for 58 yards and a touchdown. Also had a rushing touchdown. Doubt you'll ever see that again. But we know that Phillip Rivers historically loves to target his tight ends. That's basically been the case this whole year. Malawi Cox missed this last week, and Trey Burton definitely took advantage of that. He and Jack Doyle were both involved in the red zone, but Trey Burton has looked better of the two, someone I'd be willing to spend 5% of my fab budget on. Logan Thomas had his second touchdown of the year, only had 4 targets, but 3 catches for 42 yards. He's basically a touchdown-dependent option at this point, but playing against the Cowboys should be a good week for him. Darren Fells probably should be a higher fab bid if you're in desperate need of a tight end. We know Jordan Akins is dealing with an ankle sprain, so it could actually be another week before we see him again. Every week that Darren Fells gets to play as the sole tight end there in Houston, he's probably going to have a good week. I just know that is a short-lived asset, because once Akins comes back, he looked to be the more heavily targeted guy there for Houston. So Darren Fells is definitely a short-term option only. But if you need a tight end start this week, if you just lost Zach Ertz, or if you have someone on bye, Jonnu Smith, we'll see if he ends up playing this week. Darren Fells is definitely someone that should be rostered and played this week. Even if Akins comes back, he's probably going to be a little limited the first week coming back off of that ankle sprain. And then Anthony Firkser basically came over and took over. We were hoping for Jonnu Smith to have a good week this week, but he hurt his ankle as well. Not sure the severity of that. Doesn't look like it's anything serious, but if Jonnu Smith is out, Anthony Firkser becomes a really great start this week, going in and having 8 catches on 9 targets for 113 yards and a score against Houston this last week. Does get to play Pittsburgh this week, which is a much tougher defense, obviously, but Tennessee has been rolling, and I want to start anyone there that has a prominent role in the offense, and I think Firkser would definitely have that if Jonnu misses any time. Dallas Goddard, definitely someone you want to keep an eye out for. If you even if you're in a league where you have IR slots and someone has him there, this would be the week to go out and put a feeler offer out. He's probably not going to be back, for the next couple weeks. He might even miss through the bye week in week 10. But that being said, Dallas Goedert is going to come back into a role where he will be massively targeted. Zach Ertz is going to be out for the next 4 weeks. And we saw Dallas Goedert look much better than Ertz in the first couple weeks of the season. So yes, he's been often injured, but this is probably the cheapest you're going to be able to get him for the remainder of the year. So I definitely go after Goddard if he's on your waiver wire. Irv Smith, another name to throw out there. He's on bye this week, but he's had 2 weeks now where he's seen his route participation and the snap share go up. The Vikings defense can't hold anyone down. They can't even slow down Matt Ryan and the winless Falcons prior to this week. Obviously, the Falcons won, so not winless anymore, but Irv Smith came out and had 4 catches for 55 yards. Nothing crazy, but for a tight end, you'll take that. The consistent production is starting to ramp up for him. We were excited about him before the season started, so hopefully this is a sign of good things to come. If you need a bench option, someone that you could potentially pivot to later, I think Irv Smith is a good name to keep an eye out for, especially if none of these other guys are available for you.